Hello, everyone. We got some background noise. Hello, everyone. This is Cece Schatz. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are the GoingSoloMedia.com. We are the #1 internet singles talk network. You guys are listening to the boy and girl thing, and I have with me my sidekick. Hey, Derek.
Hi, how you doing, CC? This is Derek Bernard.
I'm doing pretty good. I have missed you. You and I haven't done a show in the last couple of weeks.
That's true. I don't know what's going on.
You had your birthday and
Yeah.
there was other stuff. Let me see if you look a little older. Let's see. I'm not telling you when my birthday is. Say that. But anyhow, but I have missed you. So have you been up to any mischief?
Well, not a whole lot of mischief, but mischief is always good,
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, life could be a little boring without a little mischief. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, maybe so. And I think that probably leads us right into our topic tonight. And our topic is 17 signs he likes you, but he doesn't want a relationship.
A relationship.
I know you're going to love this, and you're going to love our guest too tonight. Our guest tonight is Ronnie Ryan. Let's bring her forward. Oh, I think she might have stepped away from her.
Oh.
But anyhow, Ronnie Ryan, just so that you guys know, she is a love and dating coach. She's really an expert in her field, and we're so happy to have her. She's also one of our elite guests here on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. And those of you that don't know, our elite guests are those that really kind of give of themselves. They have a platform here on our station. They have their own page right on our elite section. You just go in, look for Ronnie Ryan, and click on it, and it's got all of her information there, how you can contact her, and all super information about her. So let's bring her forward. So we want to tackle this show tonight. Let's try some of these different. We've never done this. There
you go.
Yeah, I'm up in the going solo sector.
Oh yes. Hi, Ronnie.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Same here, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It is great having you. And I love it that you are a love and dating expert, a coach. And so tell us a little bit, Ronnie, how you got into really being an expert in your field.
Okay. It all happened on my 40th birthday when I woke up still single, hadn't been married yet, and was truly horrified. Because when I was younger, I always thought I'd get married, I'd have kids, and what happened, So I decided to get very serious and figure out what was going wrong so I could find Mr. Right. And I did a lot of work on myself. I looked within. And then I started getting out there, and I dated 30 men in 15 months, found the man I've been happily married to for almost, I can't even imagine saying this, 20 years. So, and I've been a dating coach, a love coach for 18 years, really helping successful women understand what is going on, what is going wrong, and what they can do to find love.
Whoa, what do you think about that, Derek? What's going on with you, man?
I don't know. But 18 years. 18 years, it's a lot of experience in the field. So, it's we'll hear what the expert says tonight.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. So 17 signs he likes you, but he doesn't want a relationship. So let's start that, because I think that's very, very exciting. So can you think of, I have your article. Now, all of you, if you want to find this article, you can just go to her website, which I'm going to put it up here for you guys so you know it. It's nevertoolate.biz, and you go to her website and you'll see this wonderful article here about the 17 signs he likes you, but he doesn't want a relationship, plus a bunch of more information. Let me tell you, she's got a lot of stuff on her site. So let's talk about it, Ronnie. What's the number one?
Number one, I don't know if these are really in any particular order, but I get a lot of things repetitively from women asking me questions about what does this mean. And the very first thing I want to say is I am not bashing or trashing men, because how I feel about it is they have their agenda And my point is, you want a man who has the same agenda as you. So he's entitled to get his needs met and do whatever he's doing, but you are entitled to be smart. So the first one on the list is he texts but doesn't ask you out. Now, doesn't this happen constantly? So many.
What is he? What's the first one? He does what?
Texts but doesn't ask you out.
Oh yeah.
So that happens all the time, where there's a lot of texting and it's really fun and people get hooked in and excited and then they think that he's really interested but he could be texting 15 women or we don't really know what's happening. The only thing that matters in my book is that he asks you out. Do you see him? Does he want to spend time with you? Because texting is not a relationship, although some people argue that it is.
He's in his bedroom and I'm in the living room and we're texting each other. Hey, what was your name again?
Right.
Oh, have you ever had that happen to you, Derek?
Well, I don't think that texting is a relationship at all.
No.
I'm still one of those people who can get so much done and said with a simple phone call. To me, texting takes up your time, it takes up your attention, and I really don't always have time for texting. But I don't quite agree with Ryan's conclusion here.
Oh,
because he said he'll take what he can get from you, but never give you what you need. The solution: stop communicating. Now, I have a different solution. Express your needs. Say what you want. Right? Because sometimes, I have met women and I'll talk to them, call them on the phone, we even go out, but I never have a relationship with them. Right? Because probably that's not the person I think that I want in my life in an intimate way.
Right.
But it might be a person that I might cherish as a good friend.
Right. But I think that was their point exactly. If you're not, it's not going to turn into a relationship. And when we're talking relationships tonight, we're talking really a partner, a partner in our life, right? Not just a friend. You've already written him off because he hasn't asked you out, you're going to write him off.
I don't think you should just write the guy off. Because
I think you write the damn guy off if he doesn't. If all he does is text you, right?
I think before you write him off, at least let the guy know what you want out of this communication or casual relationship, that you want it to go somewhere. Now, if he doesn't want it to go somewhere, he should be man enough and honest enough to tell you that. And if it is that both of you all, and if you can't be his friend, or you think friendship is not the thing you need in your life right now, you want a man in your life, an intimate relationship instead of friendship, I'll say at that point, yes, okay, break it off. Let him know, look, that's not where I am.
Darren, is your name? Your name is Darren, right?
Derek.
So Derek, that's what ghosting is about. You were like, well, if he's a man, and then he'll be honest. And but most men, they don't really like confrontation. Not all men. You're a different kind of guy. You're willing to be real and be authentic and whatever, and that's awesome. But for the men who don't like confrontation, they just disappear. So you're right. If you ask for what you want, chances are you'll find out right away if you're going to get it or not. Mm-hmm. And that could kind of, you call that fish or cut bait, right? What are you going to do? Yeah, so that could also work. Absolutely. You're giving him a chance to step up to the plate. Mm-hmm. And you'll find out right away if, because there'll be excuses, or he'll go, or he'll say, great, let's get together.
Right.
So if that works for me.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. I think you're right with that one.
But I think that in communicating that you must also be clear, because some men will take that question to mean, okay, she wants to jump into bed with me, right?
Well,
no.
I'm serious.
No.
Some men will interpret that as, She wants to jump in the bed with me, and okay, the woman might be down for that, but after that, it's still back to square one where he doesn't want a real relationship. So
Wait, he hasn't gone out with you yet. All he's done is just texting you. It's like sometimes when you meet on a dating,
all right, he hasn't gone out yet. All right, okay.
On a dating site, sometimes on a dating site, all they do is they just want to get your phone number or whatever. You'll say, let's chat. And then instead of calling you and talking to you, all he does is just text you all the time. Drives you insane.
I don't see the sense in that at all, but I guess some men might do that.
Me neither. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a sign he doesn't really want a relationship. He just wants an activity.
Just wants to text. I mean, just to waste time. Anyway, not even a friendship where you can go out and enjoy each other's company or anything. Well, okay, that's a different kind of guy. I don't know.
I think, there's all different kinds of people in the world, and some people do get their kicks from texting. It's fun, it's creative, it's quick, and maybe they're texting a couple of women or whatever, and they get to feel like, this is fun. I've got this one flirting and this one flirting, and that's why I'm saying everybody gets their needs met. So there are a lot of people doing this, and you know what? I'm sure there are women doing that too.
Yes, absolutely. There are women who do that.
Yeah. So some people never want to get to actually meet, and that's what I'm saying about if he texts you for more than 7 days and you have not discussed meeting, move on.
Right. Okay.
I agree. Right. Delete. Okay. Let's do the second one.
Woo, that was rough.
We got 17 to go through. We gotta pick it up here, gang.
Okay. Here's one of my favorites.
Okay.
He asks you out, but doesn't make a solid plan. So what that means is, just to be clear, he'll say, hey, let's get together this weekend. And the woman will say, great, I'd love to. And he said, oh, all right, I'll get back in touch with you closer to the weekend. That, ladies, that is not a date.
No.
Yes. That is a placeholder in case he finds somebody better or something better to do. That is not a date.
A placeholder.
And
I have had that happen to me.
I like that one. A placeholder, but I totally agree with that, because I think a date, if you are making a date with someone, it's about time, place, activity.
Yeah.
So if that's not there, well, then that's definitely not a date.
Yeah.
So I do suggest that the women can say, that sounds great, but while we're on the phone now, why don't we just make a plan?
Yeah. I mean, I think that people should be proactive. That's my whole thing. People should be proactive. You can't just lay back and wait for the other person to, make all the suggestions, always take the lead. You can be proactive and be confident.
Well, here's the thing. You shouldn't be the placeholder. You shouldn't hold the place, right?
Exactly.
You should go ahead and there's other guys out there, and you're a very desirable woman, and so you don't hold the place. If he says he'll contact you, and I would say you give him some time, and if he doesn't do it, then you just move on and do something else that day. And if he calls you at the last minute, say, gee golly, I'm sorry you didn't call me.
Yeah,
I'll wait around for him.
I already made plans, even though you didn't have any plans.
Exactly. I think that, and why not make plans? Whatever it is, even if you're with your girlfriend or taking yourself to a date, don't sit around and wait for somebody to call or not call.
Yes, I agree. Excellent. I agree with that.
I totally agree with that one.
All right.
Okay, we're in agreement. What's the next one, Ronnie?
He talks about the future, but just can't get around to making current day plans. And I had a guy do this to me. I mean, honestly, most of these things I learned when I was dating, but there are some things that have been updated. But, I had a guy do this. He was talking about, we could go to see a play on Broadway, and we could do this, and we could do. And I thought, oh, he really likes me. He's making plans for the future. Of course, the plans for the present completely stopped, and he disappeared. But he had been making all these great plans for the future. And I feel like he was really hoping I would trust him so I would sleep with him, which, of course, I did. So after that, we were done, and there were no more plans because there was no future. So yeah, don't put any stock in the future plans. That's my piece of advice.
Right. And don't sleep with them thinking you're going to have future plans if you don't have the future plans.
Learn from me.
Unless you want to.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with that. As
Yeah,
long as,
no regrets. No regrets. You have
as
to
long as
live
it's
your
not
life
hard
to the fullest.
you know,
You know, once you go in eyes wide open
there you go.
and you're doing what you want to do, that's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, but don't do what he wants you to do just because of you think you have something that you don't.
Yeah. But he was trying to, by making these future plans, like at least saying them, he was trying to get you comfortable.
Oh yes.
Think you had something. So that's pretty slimy, actually.
Yeah, he's painting.
We're going to call him a slime, putting him in the slime book. Slam the door on that one.
He's painting a picture that will never go on the canvas,
His wife had cheated on him, and he had to keep, I think, defining his manhood or something,
Yeah.
That's okay. You live, you learn, move on.
Right, absolutely. And I like that. Live, you learn, move on. Okay, what's the next one?
All right, this is a little bit longer term.
Okay.
So you're going out with him, weeks go by, maybe you get to 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and you still haven't met any friends or family.
Mm-hmm.
It gets a little dicey because why are you a secret? Sometimes, like sometimes men will say, "Oh, you're my secret." Oh no, if you're his secret, he can't tell anyone. There's a problem.
Yeah, there's a problem.
I
used to, when I was younger and living at home, I used to tell my mother that the only time I'm going to bring a girl home is if I'm serious about her.
Mm-hmm.
If she comes home, hey, I'm kind of serious about this girl. We have a relationship. But if I don't bring you home, well, if you see me on the street with somebody, don't even bother to ask because it's serious, And I have lived that. I mean, if I'm serious about someone, even now they can come to where I live. If I'm not, why are you in my house? Why in my space? So I agree that as well. It's very true. And women, especially younger women without experience, they have to look for all these little signs that you tend to gather when you get a little more mature, a little older. But that's very good advice.
Yeah, it is true. I agree with that. I remember my ex-husband, because he lived in London and I lived here in Florida. And so I finally went over and I met his family and everything. And I remember his father saying, "So when you guys get married?" I said, "What are you talking about? I just came." He goes, "Well, you came all the way over from the U.S.
Oh my!
Serious."
Yeah, I mean that's serious. Me going from the U.S. to London.
Yeah. So yeah. I said, "Well, we didn't get married, but yeah." So he was right. But that is true. If they're not. The thing is, if you're, and I know a lot of times with single parents, you're hesitant on introducing, that partner to the children, all of that, because you want to make sure. But there comes a time when you have to do it. You've got to start bringing your potential partner and treating him like that, and bringing them into your life. And if you're hesitant, you're truly just hesitant about doing it, you've got to ask yourself why. You got the big question. Yeah.
Well, I think meeting friends and family is very different than meeting the children. And it could easily take longer. It could take 3 months or more because they want to see if you're really going to have a relationship before you start introducing your kids, both from women and men when they're single parents. I'm okay with that. I think that's a little different than meeting some of their family or friends and getting together in that way. I think that's a little bit different. And I could see that taking longer just because it takes longer to be sure,
Right. Absolutely. Okay. What's the next one?
The next one is he won't define the relationship. So this is for a longer period of time. Maybe it's 3 months, 6 months, whatever. And he refuses to say you're his girlfriend, and he doesn't want to talk about the future. All of that to me means that he's not thinking long term. You know, he doesn't really want a relationship. He doesn't want to define it. He doesn't want you to have any expectations.
Yeah,
So has he asked you to be exclusive yet or no?
no, because he hasn't defined a relationship.
Well, it's possible he hasn't talked about exclusivity, and it's amazing how many women don't bring that up. They just rather assume than hear something they don't want to hear.
So
Yeah.
how long do you think it should be before, you know, that is, I really kind of think the guy needs to bring it up, but if he doesn't bring it up, like how long do you think you should give him?
I don't know. I think that women should seek to define, in this day and age, women should seek to define that relationship the minute they think that it needs defining. Because look, there's a phase that you can probably call friends with benefits, your sexual partners, right? But if it is moving beyond that phase and you're beginning to have emotional attachments, you should seek as a woman, if the man isn't bringing the topic up, as a woman, you should feel free to bring it up. What's going on here? Are we just going to remain in the status of friends with benefits, good sexual partners, or are we moving somewhere? You know, I think that women should definitely bring the topic up as soon as they start feeling emotional attachments.
What do you think, Ronnie?
You know, I know a lot of women who don't want to sleep with a guy at all unless they're exclusive, because they don't want to be having multiple partners. So especially when they're looking for a long-term relationship, I think some of this depends on age, but also it depends on agenda. For people who are serious about looking for marriage, they don't want to go through that time period where they're having a great time and then they get hopeful about some guy and attached to him and whatever, and then they say, where are we going with this? You know, there's a period for that where that happens, we enjoy it or whatever, and then there's a time when you're serious. So I think a lot depends on your agenda. So if your agenda is, I want to get married, you don't have a lot of time to go through weeks and weeks of having a blast, but not knowing if you're exclusive, if he's serious. I think it's important you can't pressure anybody, but you can pick up clues. So I also know women who, on the third date, the guy wants to sleep with them, and they're like, well, I only sleep with somebody after we're exclusive. And so the guy goes, yeah, we'll be exclusive, you know.
Sign it. I want it in writing.
You see anybody else? Yeah, we are exclusive this evening.
Here, I have got my little recorder. Let me record. You said. Yeah, no, I agree. But you know what? What I have found in my life and through friends and whatnot that I've talked about, usually when a guy is really into the woman, he wants her off the market.
That's right.
And if you make it very clear, you're not getting off the market until somebody says they want you to be exclusive, you know. If you don't make yourself so available every time they call and you don't do whatever, you know, you let them know you're interested. Yeah, I really like you, but you know, we don't have a relation. You haven't really decided. And so that's going to make them want you to get off, you know, and if they don't, then there's a question there, I think.
Exactly.
So, I've never had that problem. I mean, usually right away, they immediately say, let's just see where this goes. Not that he's going to say they're going to run and get married. They just say, let's see where this goes. Let's be exclusive for a little bit. Let's see. Are you okay with that? They're always like that.
On the flip side, I think when a man wants to be exclusive right away, I don't think that's a good idea either. Because you're not giving yourself, unless you've been dating a lot, you're not giving yourself the time to date around and see if you're really finding the right match. And I've seen that happen a lot and become a serial dating issue where they only want to focus on one person at a time. But the problem with that is you get attached And then you find out that that person's not quite right, but now you're invested and you've got 4 months in. What are you going to do? Break up and start over again or whatever? So I think it's good to just say, I'm dating around right now. I'm looking for the right person. And then you can decide when you want to get serious, you know, and give it, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months, however long it takes for you to meet the right person. So there's a little bit of a balancing act here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is because, you know, I don't believe that people should make commitments too soon.
Right. I agree.
You know, I think you have to get to really know that person.
And it takes time.
It takes time.
Knowing
them in different circumstances, under different stress levels, you know, the whole gambit. Really get to know that person, their reactions to different things. Can you live with their faults? Can they live with yours?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a getting to know process that to me takes a little time. It takes a little time. You know?
When I was dating my husband, I was also dating another guy. At the beginning, I had already started dating the other guy, and then I met only like 3 weeks, and then I met my husband, and so I dated them both for, I don't remember if it was 6 or 8 weeks. I have to say it was really hard, but I did learn who was a better match for me.
Yeah.
By doing that. So, you know, I had to kind of stay neutral and not let myself get too attached to either one, to see where this went and what was going to happen, because they were both really good guys. And I was having a hard time deciding because I didn't have enough information. I think dating is a contraction for data gathering. So it's all about observing behavior and seeing how you feel and interacting. And, you know, does a person respect you? Do they try to make you happy? Do they want to please you? Do they, you know, call you and have the similar sense of timing? Oh, you can't learn that in 3 dates.
No, it takes a long time.
But are you intimate with all of these people? I mean, do you?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so because that would be difficult. I don't think I personally could do that. You know.
No, I did wait.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But did the guy that you didn't get married, was he the best man in your wedding, Ronnie? I mean,
no. I didn't really. I felt bad, but he wasn't the right man for me, and I got really clear. And as soon as I was clear, then I called it quits.
You moved on.
I moved on. Then I focused on my husband. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's the next one?
I love this one.
Okay.
He disappears, but he comes back. But he disappears, but he comes back.
Oh, that would drive me nuts. Yeah.
Personally, I couldn't handle that. But some people think, oh, but he came back to me. And I'm like, well, what was he doing in between? Yeah. And what will make him come back the next time when he disappears?
And what would make him disappear again?
Yes. All of that.
You know,
I'm not cut out for that.
Yeah, no, me neither. I wouldn't be.
That's a little crazy behavior, but you know, some people tolerate it because I guess it makes them feel important. It makes them feel loved. Some people say the making up is the best part of it. Yeah.
I think they're settling.
I think all of that is crazy.
Yeah, I think they're settling, but me.
Well, not only, I mean, I don't know. Apparently, some women feel that they can't get someone else.
That's it.
You know,
That's
that this is a guy that has given me some attention, and I don't know who else is going to give me attention out there. You know. So hey, let me take the attention where I can get it.
Right. Yeah, that's settling. Okay, what's the next one?
Okay. Too busy to see you. Maybe you meet this guy and he's like amazing. He's awesome and he's really successful. And as a result, he really spends a lot of time at work or on work or whatever. And so he just doesn't have that much time. And then if he's divorced and has kids, then he has to deal with making sure he spends time with his kids and takes care of their needs or whatever. And so he's not really that available. He's just too busy to see you. So you could think this is a great guy and it's fabulous and he's this, but really he's not. That's a man who's not available.
Well,
and it's hard to, say that because he seems ideal, except he's not available.
Well, then to me, that's a big red flag. because that's the guy who doesn't know how to balance his life.
No, right. And you know,
And,
I mean,
and how on earth, I don't know why people think that's a great guy when he doesn't even have time to spend with him, because you're not even getting to know this guy really. You know, he's imbalanced, and he definitely is not making time to see you. So that to me is a move on situation.
well, I love that you say that. And you know, I wrote this article that was called your male BFF is, how do you know if your male BFF is stringing you along because he just wants sex? And it's amazing. 65,000 people read that article in 1 week. It's amazing how prevalent this is, that women have these male best friends who they see on rare occasions, and sometimes they sleep with them, whatever, and they really consider them their best friends. But I don't think they would tolerate half that kind of behavior from a woman friend. No way.
Well, as to me, in all relationships, people have to define what they want and what they expect.
Yeah.
If
Very
it is that hey, you accept this relationship for what it is, that is my best friend or whatever, and we're going to meet and have a little sex occasionally, and you're happy and he's happy, fine.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're expecting something that is not being offered, then then disappointment sets in, and then we have a problem.
Derek, I love how you think. You're very clear.
Yeah. I'm not saying anything because I'm the one that's probably busy. Not, here I am Thursday night. I know, and I do have an extremely busy life here lately, but it doesn't mean that I don't want to be with somebody. So, okay.
Well, it's about priorities. That's all.
Yeah.
We're not trying to give you a hard time, Cece.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We didn't know, Cece.
I know. It's not that I don't want to be with you. I'm just here.
Oh my God.
All right.
We can come and hang in the lobby, maybe.
Right?
Sorry. Okay. All right. What's the next one?
He's friendly when he bumps into you. Now, this one is so perplexing for people because, they bump into some guy at a party and they meet him, and then they bump into him at some bar or whatever, and he's so happy to see them, and he runs over and he hangs out by them all night and he chats and blah, blah, and it's great. It's fun. He seems like this great guy. They have a good time, and she can see he had a good time. So, what's with the gap? And then you don't hear anything until you bump into him again someplace else. That is a man who's not looking for a relationship, but he likes you and he's happy to bump into you and he'll enjoy your company.
He might just want you as a friend.
And he might have a girlfriend. He might have
a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Or he might be a guy who is afraid to pop the question.
Yeah.
What about asking you out? He's afraid to ask you out?
He's afraid to ask you out. There's some people who are terrified about rejection, men as well as women. And he's quite happy to bump into you, laugh, have a good time, talk, all of that. But he's just not confident enough to say, I'd like to date you.
Well, all I can say to that is he screwed up.
Well,
right?
He might be screwed up.
Maybe
might be a guy who lacks. Look, women.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but and I have had that happen to me before, where it seemed like every time I turn around, they were there, and so I'm wondering if that's what it was. And eventually, they did ask me out, but I think that's kind of they were a little bit shy, or maybe they thought I wouldn't go or whatever. But it was getting to be a nuisance because every time I turn around, that they were there. And, they kind of knew what I was doing by because I post what I do, a lot of stuff, what I'm doing. But but I do think that you'll miss out on life if you're afraid, if you're afraid.
And, at some point you have to be able to accept that you're going to get some rejection, and just wait. It doesn't kill, You might
we can't get rejection. He never asked you out.
Right. Well, look, and listen, I have known very beautiful women who are lonely because men felt intimidated just because they were so beautiful, and they would be afraid to ask them out, or afraid to, feel, well, look, she wouldn't accept me, look at her, so I mean, it goes a lot of time. Look, men have just as many problems as women. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay.
I mean, I get that, but being a woman, Ronnie, maybe you can say too, if he doesn't ask me out, then he's not the right guy for me, because I need a guy that's going to ask me out. What do you say?
I believe that
I'm sorry,
it's kind of something Eric said earlier, which is, if you keep bumping into some guy and you think it's possible he might be intimidated, shy, or whatever it is, you can just say, if you ever ask me out, it's a sure thing, because I'll
go with you.
There you go.
Cross him off that list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good advice, Ronnie.
But if you like the guy and you feel that he, because you meet him socially and you see how he's socially with other people and so on, you're not seeing him with a girl, right? A woman. And you feel that, hey, this guy might be available and you might like him. You can suggest something. Now, the guy might also be a homosexual. All right. So there are all different kind of circumstances.
Yeah.
That could be. Yeah. That could be there.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, that's okay. That's a good advice. Thank you. Ask him. So what side do you play on? Yeah, I'm like, whatever. Okay. What's the next one? How are we doing on it? We're doing pretty good.
He won't make it.
What? I'm sorry. What? We're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, the next one is number 9, right? He won't make it official.
Oh, did I skip one?
Yeah, he won't make it official. Number 9.
I don't have
it official. So that's similar. That's similar to some of the other things we were talking about, that you're seeing him for a while, things are going along great, and it's kind of like he won't define the relationship, but this is another one of those things where it's like, we're not really in a relationship. I'm not ready for a relationship, but this is fun. We're having a good time. And that's definitely not a good sign.
Right. Yeah. Again, it's defining what you want.
Yeah.
Right back to that.
Yeah. So the next one is, he says he misses you, but does nothing to see you. So this one is a killer because, he's telling you, oh, I miss you. It'd be so great to see you, but I'm like swamped. I'm busy. I'm sick. I'm blah, blah, blah. My boss is a jerk. Whatever. I got to paint the house. I've heard all of these things. So it doesn't matter how much he misses you. I call this blah, blah, blah talk. Blah, blah, blah. They can say whatever they want. Blah, blah, blah. It's all talk until they say, when can I see you? Are you free Wednesday? Let's get together. I need to see you. That's what matters. What does he do to spend time with you?
Yeah. It's about action.
It's about action. Exactly.
Yeah. And men are about action. And if they don't take action, there's a problem. Yeah. They're not interested, or something's not happening.
That's true to a certain extent. But a lot of people.
You guys heard that.
A lot of people have difficulty knowing what to say after they say hello.
I'll tell you something. My husband is very shy. And he had no trouble saying, when can I see you again?
Yeah, it probably took a lot out of him to say that. If he's shy. But
he told a woman, he said to this woman, I don't think she's gonna go for me. But he asked anyway. And he's shy.
And that's good. But there are some people who just don't know what to say. So their way of saying I'd like to see you is, oh, I miss you so much, and beat around the bush, and it's all wishy-washy. Right? It's to me, just wishy-washy.
Wishy-washy.
But beyond that point, after they make that hello statement, is they don't know how to phrase where they want to go from there. And it's not that they may not want to go somewhere. It's just that they don't know how to phrase that and to bring that out of themselves and put it in your ear. And that's a real problem for some people.
I understand, but then they're going to have problems elsewhere in their life too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay. So, Ronnie, what do we say when someone that happens to us? What would we say to them?
Well, taking my lead from Derek again, if somebody's being wishy-washy, one time, like I don't believe in leading a man, but I think one time you can say, yeah, I miss you too. When can we get together?
There we go.
One time. But if you have to do that every time and you always initiate, that is not a good sign, because if he doesn't know what a sure thing is by then that he can't ask, not a good sign.
Because the next statement I'm going to make is that you don't want a wishy-washy partner in your life.
No.
Right? Because this person wouldn't only be wishy-washy to ask you out, they're going to be wishy-washy in other areas.
Oh, yeah.
They are not good decision makers.
No.
So, those are some of the signs that you even look for.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Guys, we're almost at 4. We're almost at our closing time. It's gone very quickly. I know. So you want to just pull maybe a couple more or one more, and let's talk a little bit about, how we get a hold of you, Ronnie.
Okay. Well, here's one that's really important. He won't take down his profile.
Okay. That is important. Yeah. And
that is a huge problem. If you're dating a man and weeks go by and his profile's still up and he's still active online, move on. Just move on, because he doesn't want to be exclusive, or he doesn't want to be tied down or in a relationship. Whatever it is, he doesn't want what you want. If you want a relationship and he won't take his profile down. I know a woman who was engaged and the guy still had his profile up. I like the way he said.
And he probably asked her to take hers down.
She did take hers down.
Yeah, and he probably asked for that. So
yeah, you usually when you're asking to be exclusive, that's part of the deal. You know, that you take your profile down. So that's a great time right there to discuss it. So what does being exclusive mean? I think when we're looking at being exclusive, we should ask them what exactly does that mean?
Right. Define it.
Define being exclusive. And so exclusive is that you take your profile down and I can still, play house. We could, or whatever, we could do that. Yeah. So yeah, you have to be on the same page.
Exclusive means that I am entitled to 2 wives, so I'm still looking for the next one.
Well, if you can handle 2 of them, sweetheart, you can have them. Just not gonna be me. Absolutely.
Can we squeeze one more in?
Yeah, one more.
Okay. He comes right out and says, I don't want a relationship. I'm not looking for anything serious. When a man says that, he means it. Pay attention and say, okay, thank you. And go find somebody who might be looking for a relationship. But if a man starts out, and there are a lot of men who are really honest up front, and they'll go, listen, I'm not really looking for a relationship right now, but if you want to get to know each other and see what happens, that's great. The only part of the sentence that matters is the first part. I don't want a relationship. He's not going to change his mind.
So, okay, I have a quick question about this. So what if he says, I don't want to get married, but I do want a relationship? What about that?
Well, if you don't want to get married, then you could have a relationship that doesn't end in marriage, and that's fine. Not everybody wants to get married. Or if you're okay with not getting married, you might live together, or you might live in separate places, but have an exclusive, committed relationship. Some people are okay with that.
Some people are happy with that.
Get married. So, but if you want to get married and he says no way, you're not going to bridge that gap.
Yeah, you should not have to convince someone to get married.
No,
you shouldn't.
But we're just talking like if he says it right at the very beginning when you first meet him.
Wow.
You want.
Sometimes, look, if no guy says that right at the beginning, then and you're still interested in this person, I think that you should now tiptoe into that situation. You don't go gang gung ho and just, you know, tiptoe into it. Sometimes getting to know you, sometimes people throw that up as a smoke screen because they were probably hurt or disappointed before. Look, people have all different kind of scenarios going on. So even though you tiptoe into that situation, then you might find down the road that person might, oh my gosh, I want to marry this person, right?
Right,
You know,
but you heard it, and so often us women we want to change it. So we just got to pay attention to what we hear.
I would say don't try to change anybody.
No.
Right.
Now, if you're in a relationship for 2 months, 3 months, or whatever, and this guy telling you, look, I don't want a relationship, you know, then sometimes it just means I don't want a relationship with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly what Ronnie said. Yeah. Ronnie was saying, yeah. Well, listen, we're going to have to wrap it up because we're at 45 minutes, but
I gotta go 45.
Let's share. I know it goes fast, doesn't it? Okay, so y'all, if you want to send Ronnie an email, she would love to hear from you. You just go to ronnie@nevertoolate.biz. And if you want to check out her website, which the article will be on there with many other information. It's nevertoolate.biz. So you can contact her there. She's also one of our elite guests. And so you can go to goingsolomedia.com, go into the elite, click the elite, see her name, click it, and all the information is there regarding her. So you can find some information there too. And it'll take you, the links are right there. So it takes you right over to her site. So I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. Did you guys enjoy it?
Thank you.
Absolutely, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Very nice meeting you, Ronnie.
Nice meeting you too, Derek. Always a pleasure, Cece.
Pleasure.
It was fun. We'll have to get you to come back on. Maybe we can finish the list or add more things to it. That would be fun.
Anytime.
So this was really great. Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Me too.
So, well, we got to close out the show. I tell you, it went by extremely fast. I mean, it's unbelievable how quickly this show went, didn't it?
It did. It went very fast. Yes.
Yeah, it went very fast. So, well, guys, you're listening to the Boy and Girl Thing. I am Cece Schatz, and I have with me my co-host.
I'm Derek Bernard.
Right. And you're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. And again, our website is goingsolomedia.com. You can reach us there. You can email us on goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. Anything that you have a question or anything like that, or if you have an idea for a show, we'd love to be able to bring you forward. If you'd like to be a host on the station, or if you want to be a guest, we'd love to have you. So contact us. Listen, we got to run. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you next week. Bye.